Yeah, we've had two great games with them. I mean, either game, I thought we were actually in better position than Syracuse. They made an incredible threes in Syracuse in the end of the game. And then tonight, when we got control, finally they made two or three incredible threes again. His was unbelievable, half court. It was better than Buddy's was against Virginia. But and then Gibbs pulls up, and we were smart. We made one mistake and it almost cost us. But we made 8 free throws in a row, and Quincy struggled shooting it. He makes his too, and we know Joe's going to make his. But they made some plays at the end of that game. The first half we could not stop them, and they couldn't stop us. People want things out of Joe Girard that it's unimaginable that they don't understand what he's doing. We haven't had too many point guards, freshmen, do what he's done. And yet I still see these comments about, well, he didn't do. We're not getting a lot of assists right now because our best offense in some certain cases, when we're playing a team that has matchup problems with us, just to isolate. Buddy had Leshevsky on him twice, and he went by him, scored twice, and Elijah had a mismatch a couple times. In the first half, Mooney had him, and they were matching up and then coming back man, and he had Mooney out of their matchup. So we're isolated a lot, so you're not going to get a lot of assists. Well, again, Barama's been pretty good. A lot of it's been foul trouble. He's been in foul trouble. That's why he's been out. Quincy's been in foul trouble. Well, a lot of their playing time has been foul situations. But Quincy was real good tonight, making those free throws. He's starting to shoot better. I thought Bryson was great tonight. I was going to get him back in. He's a good shooter. He knocks down that three to give us the 4-point lead at halftime. He got 2 offensive rebounds. He's been practicing better. I think he's getting used to the mask. It's been difficult for him. Howard sprained his ankle in practice yesterday, so he couldn't go. Bryson was really good when he was in there.
Welcome to the Cuse Militia Podcast with those two unapologetically biased, orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
What's up, Cuse Nation? Thanks for tuning in to the Cuse Militia Podcast with Sean and Joe. If you like it, please share it. The universal handle for the socials is at Cuse Militia. Go there, join the militia. We are the only Syracuse sports podcast centered around giving you, the fans, a voice of welcome. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday.
Thirsty Thursday.
Thirsty Thursday. Thirsty Tuesdays. Thirsty Sundays. All right.
Hey,
look.
I don't need your schedule.
We've got, look, the moods are high. We are high off of Syracuse basketball right now. 4 in a row. I mean, what else can you say? 3 wins on a road. I mean, it's just been phenomenal. We have a little bit of news to get into quickly before we get started with everything here. But the biggest news, I guess, of the week that was unbasketball or not basketball related. Unbasketball related? Is that a thing? I don't know. Not basketball related would have to be the departure of Zach Arnett. I think he came into Syracuse, took a breath, and turned around and got the hell out of there. So I don't
Saw
know.
a snowstorm and said peace.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but apparently he is expected to be hired by Mississippi State as a defensive coordinator there. I don't know. Is this a bad look? Is it for the school, for the coaches? I mean, yes, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I mean, everything happens for a reason. I'm one of those guys. So,
is it school, is it coaches, or is it actually him? Because,
well, obviously,
to say you're going to take a job and then
they
get offered another one, right? I know it's SEC and
right.
I mean, there was news that we did match his the offer from Mississippi State, and he still declined and decided to go to Mississippi State. So it's just tough because I know that we've been having 3 of our bigger recruits that we're pushing for with only 2 weeks left before National Signing Day. We're all defensive players. So now that's going to be a tough sell when you don't have a defense coordinator. So,
yeah, it is what it is. I'm not going to be too upset about it, I guess.
That'll work itself out.
Yeah, whatever. Like I said, whatever. You don't know what you didn't have. So
right.
There's others in the pipeline, and I guess that's where I stand with it. Whatever.
Yep.
Guess what? Syracuse basketball has won 4 games in a row.
Yes,
How
sir.
about that? So
How about that?
So, we were on the Noons pod, as James likes to call it. James invited us on there. It was honor and a privilege to be there with James Zuba and Bobby Manning, and it was a good time. It was before the Notre Dame game, but it's still fresh. I mean, you could still listen to it, and the game's over, but we talked about just a lot of general Syracuse basketball stuff, and we also we did some buy-seller hold that is very relevant, that could be listened to all the way to the end of the year, some of that stuff. So,
correct.
And you can listen to that, and who was right? Buy-seller hold, Syracuse will win at Notre Dame. Who bought, who sold, who held? I'm not going to tell you. Go to Noons, check it out. It's on iTunes. I think it's the latest one still that's on iTunes. So thanks to them, James and Bobby, for having us on.
Yes.
We really appreciate it. The Orange improved to 12-7. Overall, 5-3 in the ACC, splitting games with Virginia Tech, and Notre Dame. 3-0 the second time around, all on the road. And part of me is a little bit nervous to play at home against Pitt. That is a weird feeling, to be nervous about that, but that's what happens. I guess you get sports superstitious. Per James Zuba on Twitter, speaking of James, Orange are 8-4 at home, 4-1 on the road, 0-2 in neutrals, and their quadrant records. I updated these from last night. Quad 1, 2-3, Quad 2, 2-4, Quad 3, 1-0, Quad 4, 7-0. So what we're looking at, really, Quad 3, Quad 4, we're 8-0. And that is where you need to be. The other stuff will kind of work itself out. And we'll get into the Pitt thing. But last night, Notre Dame was a Quad 1 win. Obviously, that changed because they lost at home. So that knocked them to about 82 in the net. That takes them to a Quad 2 win. So, anyway.
Yeah, well, that can always change, right? So...
Yes, it can change. They can work their way back up and all that fun stuff. So we're going to get into all that. Pitt's going to come to the Dome, as I mentioned, this Saturday. So we're going to do all that. We're going to do it all. But first, as always, I shouldn't even have to read this anymore. You should just know it by heart, kind of like I do. But
guilty.
Right. But listen, I'm going to plug it. I'm going to plug it again. Here we go. It'll only take a second. Listen, if you plan on betting online, it doesn't matter whether you're an experienced player or a first-time customer, MyBookie welcomes all that come to play, so quit waiting around and sign up today. Do you have questions? Are you nervous about it? Have you done it before? Don't worry. MyBookie has a patient customer service center. They can walk you through the process, and the best part is they're still running this deal right now. I've told you about it before. It's the only deal they've run for the past 6 months. Why? I don't know, but take advantage of it. Log on to mybookie.ag and make your first deposit using the promo code CHAIR, CHAIR, and MyBookie will match your deposit dollar for dollar to jumpstart that bankroll. Again, log on to mybookie.ag, make your first deposit using the promo code CHAIR, and MyBookie will match your deposit 100% up to $1,000. Thank you, MyBookie. You play, you win, you get paid. MyBookie. All right, so Joe, what a run for the Orange as they boost their stock in the ACC, going on a 4-game win streak, as we mentioned. And this has just been fascinating to watch, and I can't say enough. Down by 11 and up by 13. A little confusing towards the end of the second half. Some ISO ball, but I think it worked out for the most part. Not the best stuff to watch, but I do think at the end of the day, I don't think it was terrible. This team was counted out by a lot of people for just about everything. Just 4 games ago, after a loss to Virginia Tech, when they sat at 8-7 and 1-4 in the ACC, coach was to be fired. And by the way, those people still silent on Twitter. They mostly come from Twitter. Still silent. The good Sidibe, 6 of 6. Tying a season-high 12 points, 5 rebounds, a steal, a block, and he was actually a factor down low. Some of the little things that didn't get on paper. He gave Mooney fits at times. Actually, he actually did, and I was beside myself. I give him props at halftime. Just phenomenal to see Sidibe do good. Can he stay there? I doubt it, but I I hope so. Prove me wrong. I love being proven wrong.
Please.
Yeah. Goodine makes his first 3 as an Orange man. Hughes, with 26 points, makes him the leading scorer in the ACC with 19.7 points a game to Louisville's Jordan Noir's 19.1. JG3 handing the ball back to jaw-jacking Gibbs at the buzzer. Good. Sorry, not sorry. I loved it. Cuse sits at 332nd in 2-point shots, but this has been slowly improving, and it's a surprise to me, actually, coming into the Notre Dame game. I did not think they were going to score 36 points in the paint, but they did. Plus 7 on the boards, guys. Plus 7. That's freaking phenomenal. I could not believe that. No, and Coach was asked during the press conference, how have they been rebounding so bad? He's like, I have no idea. Well, neither do I. So that makes at least 2 of us. The bad for Cuse. The banked in corner 3. Never seen that really before. Just a bad shot. Got lucky on the glass. And the desperation heave from the scorer's table. That one right there, which trimmed a once 13-point lead to 6 points. Buddy Boeheim's foul trouble, most notably the charge. And look, I mean, you can make a decent argument on either side of this. But for me, if that's the case, that's how I know the rule is too vague. I need some clarity on the rule. Sometimes I can't tell, and you can argue both sides. So it is what it is.
Right.
The ugly. TJ Gibbs, vomit breath. What's up with that? Does it do... Does a dude just puke and then they're allowed back in the game? There's no health standards to NCAA basketball? I don't get it. I don't know.
Maybe that had something to do with Joe giving him the ball when he's jawing in his face with puke breath the whole night.
I know. I'm surprised he didn't slap him.
Or puke himself.
Yeah, really. And I'm worried about that too, by the way. I'm worried about one of those guys getting sick. If he's got a stomach bug or something, that would suck. Look, the real ugly, besides that, a 7-minute field goal drought leading to an 18-4 run for Notre Dame. It was pretty much the only hiccup of the game, but it really did come close to costing Syracuse towards the end there. The last 43 seconds was agonizing. So,
yeah.
Joe, sorry.
Dude, I mean, like what Boeheim said in his post-game presser, they couldn't stop us, and we can't stop them in both games. Pretty high-scoring games, especially for, in our standards. And when we really look at the 2 games side by side, comparably, something with the defense. Like again, I don't know if it's the confidence, if it's going on the road. As Anthony would put his road warriors, GIF on our thoughts for the game, but. Just to see that, I mean, being -3 in rebounds to go into +7, right? I mean, Joe Girard led the team in rebounds.
It's crazy.
Assists and steals, right? No, he had 9, right?
Yeah, yep.
So, and the big guys, like you said, Sidibe going 6 for 6. I mean, Mark and Sidibe combined. I would have loved for the first game, Mark and Sidibe combined to have about the game that John Mooney had, because that's what happened this time. So, I mean, you look at it was just to have all around scoring. It's just a beautiful thing, because I think a lot of people thought in the beginning of the season it was just going to be 3-pointers, jump shots, and obviously the coaches have made the game plans and created the adjustments, and the players have bought all in. Girard and Doljai get 1 more point, and we got 6 players in double figures, and that hasn't happened in who knows as far as Syracuse goes. So again, it's nice to see the confidence, and it's nice to see that we're not just a 3-point shooting team, and Buddy can have a bad game and then we can still pick him up. So
what do you make of them being able to drive in the paint the way they've been doing? And it's just really I mean, I'm not the analytical one here in case you didn't know, but it's just a lot of finesse. Really. It's being able to control the ball. It's being able to spin. Look at Mark, dude. Spin it, like faking and spinning, going the other way. I mean, dude,
right.
Sidibe's hook shots, where have these hook shots been? Where has that been? It's insane.
Well, I mean, he wasn't allowed to take them, right? So,
well, that's true too.
But if he takes them and he makes them, then he's going to sit there. You could see he really didn't have crazy reactions when Sidibe. I know. I just remember a couple times he made the baskets and Jim he stayed sitting down. There really wasn't any reaction, and it probably was he was thinking, oh, man, Mark shouldn't have thrown that to him, but, he caught it and he dunked. Oh, he shouldn't take that shot, but, he made a hook shot over Durham or Mooney, whoever it was. So as long as he wasn't making mistakes, then he wasn't coming out, and you saw that in the second half. We had some guys in the first half come in. I thought Goodine played good when he came in, Girard, and second half, I don't think we subbed until Girard came in around 5 or 4 minute mark.
Yeah, after Sidibe's fourth foul, and Sidibe played 31 minutes. I don't remember the last time he played that many minutes. So, yeah. But he's like Coach said in the press conference, he's always in foul trouble. That's Guerrier and Sidibe. If they could just be a little bit more careful, then this team can grow that much more. Because Dolezaj is not a center, and the more he's there, the less he's not. Yeah. And the less he's not is when is the less he's doing his thing. So
yeah, and when you look back at the points that we were talking about when you looked at the game, we talked about rebounds and the matchups for the big men and the fouls and stuff. We really didn't have too bad of foul trouble. I thought our big men played admirably. They played definitely harder. To John Mooney, definitely it was a lot harder for him to get his buckets. It was a lot harder for him to get his double-double, right?
Yeah.
And we ran the guys off that I was mad in the beginning because Gibbs came in and he hit the three right at the place where we said we got to worry about, right? And I said, here we go. But you saw after that when he kind of exited because of his sickness, came back in and everything, that we started running those guys off. And our defense, they kind of, I don't want to say it's a perfection, but we ran Prentice Hub and Gibbs off the spots that they like to shoot and force them to shoot in other spots. And we gave Notre Dame the shots that we wanted. Go ahead, Juwan Durham, take that jumper. Go ahead, Goodwin, Pfluger, go ahead, take those 3-pointers, right? So we kind of dictated the shots that they took, and it kind of worked in our favor for the most part. I thought Goodwin had a real good game, and he had to, because if he didn't have even close to the game that he had, if he played like he did in Syracuse, then that probably would have been a blowout. So again, kudos to the game plan and being able to just I don't know, just to listen to the coaches and just not get too much into the game. And how about Elijah Hughes, man?
Yeah, I mean, moving into first in points per game in the ACC, he's just unstoppable. Like Coach said, he's almost impossible to guard, and he's just an athlete. And to Coach's point again, I hate to keep harping on his press conference, but he made a ton of good points.
No, he
did. To not be considered in the top 25 players in the nation is crazy. It's crazy.
Him and Mooney. How do you
Mooney.
watch that game and not think that, right?
I mean, you got to be an idiot. That just goes to show how much politics too. And this is what worries me a lot about the tournament time. You should be able to look at the quads and determine whether your team's getting in the tournament type thing, right? There's so much politicking going on with the polls and with the this and with the that. It's a bunch of jerks in a circle, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. I get it.
So
yeah, they analytics go a little ways, and obviously I think that some teams, they can have good win-loss records with certain quadrants, but I think that neutral and road games and wins like that do affect certain teams. So I think if some team has a good record but they didn't win a lot on the road or any good ones on the road, then that might affect them as well. But for the most part, I think you're right. Yeah, strength of schedule, quadrant wins, all that kind of stuff is really, I think, the main thing you got to look at.
You should be able to determine whether a team is in or out. It shouldn't come down to sitting around wondering. You really shouldn't. So, all right, with that said,
it's time to hear from you, the loudmouths from the Loud House.
All right, y'all know what to do at the end of every game. I propose a question, thoughts on the game. You go there, you leave your thoughts. We may or may not talk about them. We're switching it up this time. We're going to switch it up this time. I'm sick of reading all these comments all the time. My mouth gets dry. Joe gets to sit there and do nothing. And so I'm going to make Joe read
make fun of you.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I stumble over my words, but I'm getting older. It's hard to see on this little phone. So,
oh God! Look, so you're gonna put the pressure on me, right?
Look, it's your turn, buddy. You do Facebook, I'll do Twitter. Plus, sometimes you'll give me your input, but I want to know what you see sifting through. Joe, what do you got?
All right. Let's start with Peter from Facebook, like you said. Didn't think they could get better after watching first 10 games, but they are getting better every day, and this would be quite an accomplishment for Coach if this team gets in the tournament.
Oh, absolutely. After, and it's just hilarious that we're calling. And look, I'm a tiny bit guilty of being frustrated with Coach, but I would never call for his job because I think he's a Hall of Fame coach, and enough people are dramatic about it, so I didn't go there, but I was frustrated. I didn't understand the defense. You remember I was talking about this zone stuff's not working. Remember all that?
Yeah. Look, well, yeah. I think to your point, I think that was you weren't calling for his head as much as you were just frustrated because in the beginning you thought, oh, we got to do something different because this isn't working.
But it was a lack of faith, though. It was a lack of faith, and this just goes to show. Right? This just goes to show. Don't doubt Jimmy B. Don't doubt him.
Well, and to what you said too, I mean, he did make adjustments because we have seen the 2-3 zone. It's before he's been kind of stubborn and hey, we're just going to do it this way. But we've seen them come up with good game plans and exactly how to D up these teams depending on their strengths and weaknesses on offense. And I think we've seen, especially since ACC play, but especially the last 4 games, we've seen that, right? So
yeah, I mean, all right, awesome.
Dominic, Facebook. Best part of the streak is that it isn't just one person. One night, Buddy leads us in scoring. Mm-hmm. Next, it's Hughes. I think even Girard has dropped 20 recently. They really are gelling together well and are playing like the definition of a team. More than any other Syracuse team I can think of in recent memory.
Man, I'll tell you, you look back, last year was Tyus, and it was Tyus. And then maybe once in a while, maybe once it was Howard. But who else was doing anything? Hughes.
Brissett a little.
Hughes. Brissett struggled last year. And congrats to him, too. He's doing okay in the NBA, which shocks me a little bit.
He's staying on he is out of the D-League, right? He's been on the roster. He's been getting burned with the second team with the Raptors. So, he's been doing pretty well. But I think this is perfect as far as
I love that comment, by the way, Dominic.
Yeah, great comment, because when you look at the box score, that kind of tells you everything you need to know. Yeah, Hughes had 26. Buddy did what he did last time. Girard, he's had his ups and downs. But like I said, Dolzai hits one more free throw. Girard gets one more tip in or something like that. Like, we'd have 6 double-double scores in double-double.
I know.
So, I mean, or not double-double, in double figures.
Double figures.
So, right, and I don't remember the last time that we've had a team like that. So, again, to be able to see some of these guys step up, I think, Dominic, you kind of hit it right there, because in recent memory especially, right?
Yeah, no, recent memory, yeah. It's been frustrating to watch this. I feel like it's been frustrating to watch Syracuse offense for like 4 years, 5 years. It's got to be something like that, right? I might be exaggerating.
No, I think you're right. I really, really do think you're right. I mean,
it always feels longer than it actually is, but yeah.
Most likely.
What do you got? You got more? Go ahead.
Yeah. One more. This is my favorite one. It kind of is perfect. I think it breaks it down analytically, and it goes right to what I have seen the last couple games. But Torian on Facebook, great team win, solid contributions from everybody that played. Good to see them all playing with confidence. I like watching this team play. They have a punchers in parentheses shooters chance in every game they play. Even better that they are making an effort to take it off the bounce now. It's not always pretty when they do, but it helps open up the perimeter that much more. Surprised not more draft buzz around Hughes.
Oh, yeah. Well, great point, because Coach made it. I'm sure after he made that comment, Coach made it. Him not being in the top 25. Absolutely. I don't know. You got so much talent in Hughes, and we said at the beginning of the year, there's not a lot of draft buzz around him now, but we said in the beginning of the year, enjoy this year with Hughes, because he could go. It's a possibility he can go.
Yeah, well, like we talked about, we have 2 verbal commits already, and I know we're looking at a graduate senior as well. So that marks 3 people that we need to make room for. So that would make sense. But the main part of this whole
comment
that he made was that you can see the offense changing. In the beginning, it was a lot of jump shooters, a lot of threes, a lot of this, a lot of that.
Yeah, now they're driving.
And now it's a lot of driving, right? And even after yesterday, I mean, you try to look at Pitt. Let Pitt try to look at the way that we've been playing, and then all of a sudden you see Sidibe go 6 for 6, and then you see Girard and Dolzai combined for 18. Making yourself a scoring option just completely opens up the whole offense. And the fact that we have Girard and Hughes and Buddy who can space the defense out, and be around the 3-point, perimeter, then that helps
the bottom, the middle, inside the lane, open up for Doljai and Sidibe, and they're getting just better and better. And Buddy has shown that when you come out and you try to take away that three and you guard him too high, that we can go by you. So overall, our offense is just getting better and better because of that.
And to his point and your point, what does Pitt's scouting report look like? After that game, you know what I'm saying? This guy can shoot. This guy can shoot. This guy can rebound. This guy's getting hot. I mean,
the guy that we didn't think we were going to be able to have to guard.
All of a sudden,
went 6 for 6.
Yeah. All of a sudden, Sidibe's getting double figures and can easily get a double a game if he's in the right spot at the right time. But it's just like, what do? You just confuse the hell out of Pitt with that game. Because everybody played so awesome on the road. Now they're going to be at home. And like I said, it makes me a little nervous. But I think, look, confidence is huge coming into any college basketball game. And they're riding high on it. And quickly, in between fan feedback comments, because I don't think I have one about it. But, well, maybe I do. I don't know. But we're going to hit it now. Girard handing the ball to Gibbs at the end of the game, Joe. Is that freaking classic, beautiful piece of art or what? I loved it.
Obviously these two. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of do, and I don't want to see him in the ACC tournament, but I kind of do. And at the same time, I know that I'd be at that game because it's in Greensboro this year, right? But the thing with Prentice Hub and then Gibbs, they had a little scuffle, and you could see Gibbs in his face chirping, even earlier,
Yeah, and Joe was just standing there too. He wasn't talking back.
He was just standing there, wasn't talking back, and then there was chirping. He goes up, hits the 2 free throws to go up 4, and I think. Honestly, I thought it was a little bit of just sports. It was some sportsmanship. I thought, he's the younger guy, and obviously Gibbs was a little under the weather, and he was upset, and he wanted the ball, so he gave him the game ball. What's wrong with that?
It looked like Gibbs was going to peg it at the back of his head for a second,
and then when he ran away with his hands up,
he's like, "Oh, I didn't do nothing.
Yeah, and then Prentice Hub, he knuckled up like he wanted to clothesline him.
Dude, Gibbs was talking a lot of trash, but Prentice Hub is a punk. He's a talented basketball player, but he's a punk. I'm sorry. I mean, look, that's just how I feel. I judge. Do you think the
aura of what happened last game?
Oh yeah, and how funny is it?
Hurt what he did this game because he really didn't do too much.
He didn't do too much, and he wasn't the one puking. So. What did he get? 8 points? Prentice Hub, 8 points. Yep. Yeah. 3 for 10 from the field, 2 for 9 from 3.
Mm-hmm. He was, and one was a prayer.
And one was a prayer. One was an absolute heave.
Mm-hmm.
So, and how it's so great that, look, my brother-in-law is a Notre Dame fan, right? He didn't say anything to me after. Yeah, right. That's what I said. He didn't say anything to me after the 1-point win. It was cool. We don't talk trash to one another, but he called me today. He's like, "What's up, Flopper? What's up, Flopper?" Look, what flop? What are you talking about, man? It was great. It was great. I love the rivalry. It heats up between me and my brother-in-law. It's even better because I love him enough to where I don't want to punch him. You know what I'm saying? But this
should have said the luck of the orange.
Yeah, right. This rivalry this year. The games have been so tense. And before the Prentice Hub standing over Girard thing, it was tense. So it's, there's a good chance we'll see this game again.
Well, it would be entertaining, but I'm not gonna lie. And I'm done with Mooney.
Dude, I'm with you, bro. Because Bobby Manning on the Noons pod was saying, look, this is a bad matchup. It's bad might be an understatement. It's a horrible matchup for us. It really is.
And both games were really, really good to watch. And again, like I said, if I'm a fan of just college basketball, it's a great game. But I don't want to see John Mooney again.
I don't either. I'm done with him too, bro.
He's a senior. Sayonara, buddy.
Yeah,
I don't. Same with Gibbs. Peace.
Don't let the door hit you or the good Lord split you, buddy. See ya. Nick on Facebook. Revenge Tour. I love that. Revenge Tour. This team coming together. Dolly has been a beast on the boards. Another road win to add to the resume. JG3 with ice in his veins, though free throws at the end of the game. Tough free throws at the end of the game. And to top it off, to hand the ball to... Oh, there we go. And to hand the ball to Gibbs at the end. Yeah, Nick. just brilliant. I just loved it. I loved it. Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, and that clip that you posted, that
I traveled on Twitter.
That traveled. Yeah.
Etan Thomas retweeted it. Thank you, Etan. I know you're listening. At Orange Cop 44. Hey, look, Orange Cop. Thanks for your service, buddy. Appreciate that. If you really are a cop, which I assume, it's a solid road win. They tried to give that SOA at the end, but held on. Yeah, man. Like I said, Joe, the last 48 seconds or whatever it was when you think it's in the bag, man, Notre Dame did a fantastic job of turning that into the worst 7 minutes of my life. Well, I don't know about that, but, of the year for watching basketball. How about that?
Yeah. Well, this is the issue is that's kind of everybody knows you're going to try to get the ball to Girard, right? I know that there was one time where Girard was wide open down the court. There was another time Elijah Hughes was wide open down the court. As much as, and I saw some comments talking about it needs to be in JG3's hands. And yeah, of course you want it to be there, but sometimes, I mean, you saw him as soon as we got him into Elijah Hughes that one time, he was triple teamed. And then it happened again with Joe Girard. So hopefully we work on that because there are guys that are open and we have to have trust because every other team in that situation, every team knows we're either going to Girard and Hughes, and sometimes it could lead to things like that. So I was
Quincy, man. Quincy did a good job. He hit his too. And I think that he was being told, "What are you doing with the ball, man?"
Pretty much, yeah, but
whatever, he made him. So
right. So what happens if he turns the ball over trying to get it to Joe Girard, and then he's yelling at him too, right? So sometimes when you're in that position, it's like a lose-lose, right?
Exactly. Yeah. What are you going to do? You
go up and hit your 2 free throws. Exactly. That's what you go and do.
That's exactly right. At Lore Sprague on Twitter. Whole lot of crappy calls at the end, but we pulled through. We would have won by more if it weren't for the weird officiating. Go Orange. Now, I did not coordinate this with Lori, is her name. I talked to Joe at the end of the game. I'm like, it was weird. The officiating was weird. The whole night, not just the end, but it was just weird.
Yeah,
I was confused by
the whole night. It was them making bad calls and then making up for them, then calling the makeup calls, right?
Oh
that one time when
terrible.
They called Elijah Hughes out of bounds right in front of the bench, and it's like everybody was like, he didn't do. And then the very next down the court, it was like Gary Ayer caught the ball but fell down, and there was an inadvertent whistle, but it should have been a travel. But yeah, there were so many things where I just thought that there were some makeup calls because I thought that there were some things that were missed. But for the most part, they let them play, and I think that the fouls kind of evened themselves out when it was all said and done.
Well, let me ask you. I mean, it didn't look like Gary. It looked like Gary A didn't really have full control of the ball. I mean, it's like to a football term almost, but it didn't even look like he had full control of the ball on his way down.
And it looked like Mooney gave him a little boost too. But again, it's one of those things where I'd have to really look at the wording of the rule to actually know, right? Because I know that if you do have control and you come down with it and then you fall, then I know that it's a travel. So
right, absolutely. So all right, last one at Mick Dorchester Mick Dorchester. Yeah, at Mick Dorchester. That's it.
I got it.
I got it eventually. I like how this team rebounds. I like how this team plays zone. I like how this team plays together. I like how this team plays together and is unselfish. I like how this team wins on the road in ACC. I like how this team persists in difficult situations. I like this Cuse team. Yes. Here's
he likey.
I like how this team persists in difficult situations. It's a great point. It's an underestimated point because this team was down by 11 and up by as many as 13 and almost blew it, but they never caved again. This is in 3 of their road wins in these redemption games. That is a common theme. There was always a point where they could have caved and just folded, and they didn't. They persevered through it, and they ended up winning those games.
Yeah.
It happened in every game.
And I think we could go back to probably the end of last year when we were in the middle of the year when we were talking about how, again, we were almost excited for a reset, right? It was like, we wanted O'Shea to stay, but okay, we got these guys leaving. Now we got all these young guys coming in, but we thought that there was some vocal leadership guys that were going to be able to come in, and albeit maybe a little bit younger than the last couple teams. I think we kind of talked about how we thought this actually. I mean, the key there is team. I think for the last couple of years, they haven't looked like a team. They've looked like a couple guys that step up and figure it out. Right?
It was just trying to win. It was just trying to win. Struggling.
Yeah, same thing when we had Andrew White Gillen. I mean, yeah, they were a team, but like these guys seem like they're playing for each other. They pick each other up.
There's camaraderie.
They sit there, right? You know, you don't sit there and you don't let. I mean, how many times did Chukwu mess up? Did you see everyone on his butt trying to get him to? You know, there's tough love on this team. Sidibe, when he says his hands are up and he doesn't,
his team
everyone
tells
on the bench is like, "Hey, man." Like, come on, we're with you. Let's do this. But
you get a lot of the pointing to the head. Use your head.
Right.
I saw Jalen Carey. Use your head.
And that picks people up. It's not just relying on one or two people. They know they have to rely on each other. Whether it's Howard Washington coming in or Bryson Godine coming in or any of these guys coming in. So this is definitely more of a team, and it's actually more exciting because you have a veteran like Elijah Hughes that's just kind of basking in it, and you have all these young guys that are buying in, and it's only going to get better. So I love it.
You know, when you're held accountable by your teammates, you learn from that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Who's going to tell Tyus Battle anything last year? Who's going to tell Frank Howard anything last year? He didn't listen to Coach.
I was just going to bring up Frank Howard last year. He couldn't be told diddly by anybody.
Right.
He had a bad attitude.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been times like that when Frank Howard, when he was out, right? Was he on the bench like Jalen Carey?
Hell no.
So, I mean, we have a team,
no offense,
and they're young, and they're only getting better.
Right, exactly. All right, look, that wraps up fan feedback. We appreciate it. It's always way more fun to get into the fan feedback during wins. We appreciate it. The negativity has been lifted. Thank you for going to the socials and doing that. So remember, at the end of every game, go there, leave your comment. We appreciate it. All right, Joe, Saturday, Syracuse will be hosting former Big East rival, the 13-6, 4-4 in the ACC Panthers at the Carrier Dome at noon. TV is ACC Network, where you can watch that. Good luck with the Spectrum deal. I don't know what's going on there, but you'll figure it out. This will be the first and only meeting on the regular season for these teams. Favorite Pitt moment? Whenever I think of Pitt, I think of... I had to go back and look this up. February 12th, 2004. Does anybody remember that day? Maybe not. Maybe Pitt was leading 58-56, and Tyler Ennis hit a 35-foot shot to win the game at the buzzer. That would be the Orange going on for the school record, 24-0 start to the season, and 24 consecutive wins, both at the same time. So Pitt's net ranking is 74, making this a quad 2 home game for now, but we went over that with Notre Dame, so depending on the outcome, that could change. The all-time series with Cuse and Pitt sits at 71-45 in favor of the Orange. Wins over UNC twice for Pitt, Florida State, and Rutgers. The most recently, they just skimmed by Boston College, 74-72. They're led in scoring by 6'4", 190-pound sophomore guard Trey McGowans. We all remember Trey. He killed us last year. He's averaging 13.4 points a game, and he's also leading his team in steals with 1.9, followed up in shooting by 6'3", 200-pound guard Xavier Johnson. He leads the team in three-point percentage, by the way, with 39.2. Actually, I think it's higher than that now. I think it might be 40 point something. Sorry. 6'6", 200-pound freshman guard Justin Champagny. Right? Am I saying that right? Champagny.
I have no idea.
Justin Champagny. He leads the team in rebounds with 6.9 per game. So guard. Guard heavy team. Got a couple big ones in there, but guard heavy.
Yeah, well, the 6'6" guard, like you said, the freshman there, not even going to attempt to say his name.
Champagny.
We do play Pittsburgh again. Just want to let you know.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
But February 26th. But yes, Pittsburgh, they're a weird team to figure out, especially when you look at the teams that they beat. You know, they come out and they start the year, they beat Florida State, who we all know is going to end up being a quad 1 win, and then they turn around and then they lose to Nicholls State. So they've had some good wins, but they've struggled against other teams as well. when I look at KenPom, the net rankings, so they're 74, like you said. We're at 69 right now. But when you look at KenPom, he's got Pitt at 76, and he's got Syracuse at 51. So their adjusted ratings as far as offense and defense really aren't that high. I think they're 91st offense, 74th defense. So this to me kind of looks a little bit more like Boston College lineup, but with a little bit better guards, especially on defense. Like you talked about, Xavier Johnson, Trey McGowans, and even Audi's Tony, all sophomore guards. They're going to give us problems as far as defense goes.
I like how you say his name. I like how you say his name real fast. It's a good trick. I should learn.
Yeah, I know. You like that, huh? Yeah. So, looking back at a couple, like again, I can honestly say that I haven't watched too much of them this year.
Yeah.
But looking back at some of the more recent games, they do go the 4-guard lineup, and they start their forward Eric Hamilton, who 6'9", 250-pound senior, so he does have the size, but 6'9". But also, I would probably be willing to bet, because of our size and what we've done, that we're probably going to see a little bit of Terrell Brown as well, who's a 6'10", 235-pound junior who comes off the bench. Capel, he's proven to kind of move his lineup, his rotation with the opponent. He's really good with stuff like that. So, again, not a lot to really go off of him, and I know that they're not really a big three-point shooting team, so I know that they're going to try to attack us. I know they're going to try to get our big guys in foul trouble.
There's only 5 guys that have attempted three-point shots.
Yeah, and they get balanced shooting. They're just balanced shooting. They're a gritty team. They play hard. We're going to probably see some press. We're going to see. I mean, Xavier Johnson is going to give Joe Girard fits. Elijah Hughes should be able to be okay with his matchup. Buddy Boeheim, not so sure, depending on who they put on him between McGowans and Tony. But overall, we should be able to, especially the way we've been playing, as long as we stay physical, we should be able to stay there with the boards and the way that we've been scoring down low. If we can stick with that, then I really do kind of like our chances, especially with the confidence. The home, we haven't really played great at home, right? As far as an ACC, that's where we've had our losses.
Yeah.
And I'd hate to lose this and have to go on another redemption tour to finish it up, But
I know.
So I don't know. The only other thing that I think that would help when it came down to it is if Jim Boeheim ended up getting in a situation where he threw his jacket in the second half, and I think that would probably help our statistical
just push it over the edge.
Up. Well, we're 5-0 every game that he's thrown his jacket this year, we've won.
He needs to not abuse that.
He's got to pick and choose, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Totally.
So but yeah, again, I think you're looking at a team that's probably got Virginia Tech type defense, but without the 3-point shooting, and they're going to try to attack us. I wouldn't be surprised if they put McGowans or somebody very, very capable with a mid-range jumper and being able to pass in the middle of that free throw line spot. But that's again, I don't see us running away with it just because of the way that they play defense.
It's just a matchup issue. I mean, by the way, Joe's right. And that's my bad. They do play.
But
dude, I freaking looked at that. And
it's okay. We play Pittsburgh every year twice. Same with Boston College. They're like our rivals, our rival school type. But this team, they just play tough defense. They've been in your face. I remember McGowans and Johnson last year as freshmen, and I was like, these guys are just going to be problems for years because their defense, they're just right. So, so I can see Joe kind of struggling a little bit, and I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see a little bit of Howard, a little bit of Goodine, a little bit of a rotation.
Think Howard's okay by Saturday? As you heard in the coach montage, Howard sprained his ankle. That's why Goodine came in. Now, Goodine's hot, so I'm getting more and more confident with Guerrier, with Goodine. And if Sidibe keeps it up, I may gain confidence with him. He did not even muff a pass, which is very good.
It's amazing. Very good. I was so nervous when Dolce threw him that ball.
You saw him almost muff it, though. He almost lost it.
Well, and when Girard hit him on that little no look down. He almost lost that one too. So there's a couple where
he almost traveled too on the dunk. Like it was close. There was a little stumble. He was either going to travel or fall on his face, one or the other.
I was nervous. Don't mess this up. Don't mess this up.
Yeah, I know. I get so freaked out. So, all right. Well, do you want to give a Joe G point? One of Joe G's 3 points? I mean, I think you gave a little bit. You gave up a little bit of something there. I would say the most important thing, and we'll put it together, would probably be Girard needs to take care of the ball. He needs to be smart, not get frustrated.
I think it's. I mean, those guard matchups are going to be tough. They're going to be scrappy. So it's basically being able to keep your composure. Like I think that a lot of our guys mostly have been able to. And if there are mistakes, we'll be able to. Hopefully, Boeheim won't be afraid of his bench and have some guys be able to come in and take that over. Hopefully, Howard Washington is ready. But it always nervouses me because you can twist an ankle, you can sprain an ankle, you can roll an ankle. Sometimes you can walk it off. Sometimes it's a day, it's a little sore. Sometimes it's weeks. Sometimes they say sprains are worse than breaks. So we really don't know what the effects of it is. Hopefully, there'll be a story that comes out sometime this next, well, probably tomorrow, right, or Saturday morning, that lets us know. But yeah, I would definitely say it's taking care of the ball. It's the turnovers. It's because these guys are going to be doing the best. They're going to be in your face. And Girard has been known to get his pocket picked a couple times, and Xavier Johnson is definitely no slouch.
Girard is someone who's going to learn from those mistakes, and it's only going to make him better, making him early. And, you go to turnovers. Look, Syracuse turned the ball over only 4 times against Virginia Tech and 8 times against Notre Dame. They do a good job of taking care of the ball. It hasn't been a trend with them. They've had a couple games where they turned it over. I think I remember 12 turnovers one game against somebody, but that might even have been a Notre Dame or Virginia Tech. They turned the ball over 11 times against Notre Dame last time. So anyway, my point is that all of these little things that they've needed to do at the beginning of the year to get some of these games pushed over to the edge to a W, they're starting to do now. And so, Joe, I guess, has Syracuse turned the corner? Can we finally say, Syracuse, well, has turned the corner? They've laid down the consistency, and has it happened? Of course.
I want to see it one more time at home.
Okay.
Sometimes young players fall in this trap that, we've arrived, and they may be a little lax, and then they get punched in the mouth. And if there's a team that's going to do that, it's a team like Pittsburgh, who plays that defense and is a rival of ours. Capel, he knows the zone. He's been coaching all over the place forever.
He was with
Coach K, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So. But again, a lot of it comes down to Pittsburgh's a tough team to kind of look at, because Florida State, that game was the first game of the season. Other than that, the only teams that they've beaten in the ACC is North Carolina twice and Boston College, I believe. They've lost to Wake Forest. They've lost to Miami. Those teams are kind of the bottom. They lost to Louisville twice as well. But I think that Pittsburgh is still kind of an unknown. So it's tough to really tell because you don't know too much about them. But I would like to see it this week. I'd like to see it. Hopefully the dome is rocking. Hopefully it's not too bad of a snowstorm. Yeah, I know it's noon, but again, a rivalry game, Pittsburgh, and after a 4-game winning streak, going on the road, doing what we did. Hopefully that dome is rocking, and hopefully our team still shows up, Humble's still hungry, and knows that they still got a job to do. Because even though they won 4 in a row, 12-7 ain't going to get you in the tournament. We still need to go. And have Duke. We had Duke in a couple weeks or a week and a half here.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to sit here and say that they've arrived. I think that they've proven what they can do. And now it's just a consistency thing, because I do believe that this would be a bad loss.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
probably our worst loss of the season.
Yeah. Just a hypothetical here. If we lost, it'd be a quad 2 loss. Now, currently. So that could slide, obviously.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because Notre Dame's right there as well, but I know that Notre Dame has also played some tough games.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just right on the line there. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's not like it's just right
it's tough
there.
to say because we don't know where. It's hard to judge Pittsburgh.
Exactly, and that's the problem. So we will find out. But you know who else is hard to judge? If you're Pittsburgh, Syracuse.
No, yeah.
So I mean, it's working both ways on this one. So anyway,
yeah. Well, I know the last night against Notre Dame didn't
help Pittsburgh's cause.
Didn't let them sleep any easier. That's for sure.
Exactly my point. Perfect. All right, look. Thank you to all of you for listening. Go check out the Noons Pod with James and Bobby. We appreciate that. Show them some love.
Yes, sir.
Because, look, truth is, I don't want to gush, but being on that podcast, that was a podcast I listened to before we started this thing 3 years ago. And to be on it, I mean, it's it was kind of weird. It was kind of cool. So for me, anyway.
It was definitely fun. Absolutely.
Yeah. So go check it out. It was fun. Thanks to all of you who participated in fan feedback. As always, thank you to MyBookie. Go there, set up your account. If you haven't already, use the promo code CHAIR, and they will double your deposit dollar for dollar. We appreciate that. I guess that's it. To James on guitar, thank you, buddy. And for Joe, I'm Sean. We're out.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Cuse Militia Podcast, the fan's voice with Sean and Joe.